Hey guys, welcome to our new method of lessons. So this is lesson number 83, Understanding Similar Triangles Formed from Parallel Sides. So this is our very last similar triangle lesson. Pretty straightforward. If you are able to print, I did post the notes on the classroom, so print the notes out and you can fill in. All right, so here we go. I'm going to skip the do now. All right, the triangle proportionality theorem. So this says basically if these pieces are parallel, right? If this side and this side are parallel, then the sides are in proportion, right? That side and that side. So I'm going to label this picture. I'm going to make this X, Y, Z, W. All right, so now this only works when we have parallel sides. So if DE is parallel to AC, then we're allowed to break these up into proportions. X over Y equals Z over W. So if you remember in the past, we did like X over the whole thing, X plus Y. Like if this was a 3 and this was a 7, it was 3 over 10. Now, because these are parallel, we're allowed to say X over Y equals Z over W. If you remember back, converse is when you flip things. So the converse is if those proportions work, X over Y, sorry, I'm still getting used to writing with this thing, equals Z over W. So if the proportion works, oh my goodness, I'm struggling, then DE is parallel to AC. So it's the opposite. If they equal, then you're allowed to set this up. So again, very straightforward. All we're going to do, just pick one. It doesn't matter where. I'm going to start with my 12. Right? So 12 over 14. I'm going to keep on that same side, equals. Now, remember, position's important. Since I started with 12, I then have to start with 15 over x. Cross multiply. 12x equals 210. Oh my god, you guys. So I had to rewind because I totally worked on the lesson and didn't record. All right, so divide by 12, and we get x equals 17.5, which makes sense if you think about it. All right, 15 is a little bigger than 12, and 17 is a little bit bigger than 14. All right, I want you to pause the video and set up number 2. Now, your setup might be different than mine. It's okay. Everyone's been freaking out like, well, I put this. There's a lot of ways to set these up. I'm going to start with my x over 18 equals 56 is across from my x over 21. If you set this up differently, do not erase it. You might have the right answer. I'm going to cross multiply. Oh no. 21x equals 18 times 56 is 1008. 1008. Divide by 21. And we get 48. So if you got 48 but set yours up differently, that is okay. Do not freak out over that. You could have done x over 56 and 18 over 21. You could have done it that way. What you can't do is you can't put the x and the 21 like next to each other or across from each other. They always have to be on diagonals, right? 18 and 56 are diagonals, x and 21 are diagonals. So as long as you don't do x over 21, you'll be fine. All right, pause the video, try number 3. So for number 3, you'll notice we have this whole thing is 55, and this piece is 45. So what does this little piece right here have to be? 10. Good. 10 plus 45 is 55. So now again, just pick something to start with. I'm going to start with my 10. 10 over 45 equals, what's next to the 10? X. Next to the 45 is 36. Cross multiply, 45x equals 360. Divide to solve, and we get x equals, I want to say 9, am I right? 8. Answer is 8. Oh no, where'd it go? All right. So now again, pause the video and try number 4 on your own. So if this whole thing is 27, and that's a 6, what does this piece right here have to be? 21. 21 and 6 is 27. So pick anything you want. I'm going to go a little weird this time. I'm going to do 7 over 6, because these are next to each other, right? They're kind of next to each other. Equals, so I started with 7, now the same side is x over 21. You do not have to do it this way. I'm just showing you there are multiple ways to set this up. 6x equals 147. Divide. X equals 24.5. Let me just check. I did that in my head. 147 divided by 6, 24.5. Awesome. All right, next slide. What did I do? All right, so number 5. So these are the harder ones, right? So there's really no difference here. They're only harder because the cross multiplying is slightly harder. So pick something to start with. I'm going to go back to my old method. So 30 over, what's on the same side of it? X plus 7 equals, across from 30 is the 25 over 15. So now cross multiplying is what makes this difficult. We have our 450 equals 25 times x plus 7. 450 equals 25x plus 175 minus 175 on both sides. 25x equals 275. Divide by 25. You have $2.75. You have 11 quarters. That's it. All right, so pause the video. Do number 6 on your own. So I'm going to start with my x minus 1. Oopsies. Over 3x plus 1 equals 6 over 21. Again, don't get hung up on my setup. If your setup is a little different, that's okay. So we have to cross multiply. Now both of these, make sure you distribute. So 21x minus 21, and then 18x plus 6. So I distributed to this and that. Minus 18x. 3x minus 21 equals 6. Add 21. 3x equals 27. So we end up with 9. And we're done. All right, so now the last type. Wrong problems. These are right. So these are the converse. Remember in the beginning we talked about the converse? So this is where determine if they are parallel. So this is really similar to when we were just showing that things were similar or not. If we set up our proportion and it works, then they're going to be parallel. Just like before, if we set them up and they worked, it was similar. So I'm going to do my 11 over 15.4. The question is, does that equal 10 over 14? So there's two ways to do this. We can cross multiply or we can find our decimal. I'm going to cross multiply. 11 times 14 gives me 154. Does that equal 10 times 15.4? And it does. So that's a yes. So that means yes, they are parallel. And we're done with that one. So set up the next one and see if you can figure it out. So I'm going to start with my 18. 18 over 5. Does that equal, now I started with 18, so I have to go across to it, 15 over 4. Cross multiply, 5 times 15 is 75. Does that equal 72? That's a no. So that means they are not parallel. And our last one. So this is the harder one again, because you have your 54, and you have to figure out that missing piece right here. 54 minus 24 is 30. That's a little awkward to look at. Let's make that, turn that into a 30 like that. Okay, so pick something to start with. So if I start with 24, 24 over 30. Now careful, there are two 30s in this. Equals 30 over 37.5. Cross multiply, 900 equals 900. It worked, so they are parallel. And that is the lesson. Now the homework does have some review problems, so look in your old notes for those. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. I will have my email up pretty much all the time because I assume you guys are going to have questions. I will post on the classroom when we will have like a class chat so that we can figure out how we can talk about the lessons and if anyone has questions. All right, have a great day.